And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, today we're taking a look at the newest Dice Master set. This is Civil War, which is a surprise to no one since the Civil War movie is coming out this year, and it is one of the most iconic stories. This is actually based on the comic book Civil War, although not every character in here is from that storyline, but that is mostly what it's based on. I'm assuming you already know how to play Marvel Dice Masters. If you don't, go check out my review on that, but here I'm just going to basically showing you some of the new stuff from here. Let's talk about it. So here's the dice for this game. Pretty cool looking as usually. I guess Mary Jane's die, pink and pink. I don't know if she would appreciate that. They stand out. I really like Captain America's new die. It's like a red and blue background. But most of these are pretty good. You'll notice that they're starting to, in recent sets, I'm not seeing as many of the clear dice. This one has a few that have that somewhat opaque thing to them, but they're still darker and easy to see through. This one is pretty cool, the purple one with the weights on it. For the most part, you know, it's a nice spattering of colors. And anyway, you're not here to see the dice, you're here to see the cards, right? So here we go. First of all, a bunch of characters that have nothing on them, and a lot of two characters in this set, which is good. It's always good to see a lot of two characters, more choices for small cards. And we're seeing some characters like Rocket Raccoon, as far as I know, has nothing to do with the Civil War, but hey, you know, another reason to buy the set. Jessica Jones was in the Civil War slightly, but again, TV show. Ms. Marvel. Okay, so let's talk about some keywords. Overcrush is not the first time that we've seen Overcrush in this scenario. Overcrush is one of my favorite abilities, which means when you attack somebody and someone blocks you, any extra damage that you would do that would cost more than knocking out the person who's blocking you is done to the opponent. Overcrush, when combined here with 8-Lock, who's an 8-8, can be extremely devastating. We also have Fast. This is a special ability kind of comes over from Magic the Gathering, which means you do your damage to your opponent before they do theirs to yours. Now, these people aren't necessarily super powerful people. I'm trying to think if there's any Fast that are really powerful. You'll notice that these ones are just pretty quick. Speedball here also is fast, by the way. I'm really glad to see Speedball in this. First of all, he's a catalyst for the Civil War, and he's one of my favorite comic book heroes. And there's a fast Rocket Raccoon and a fast Jessica Jones. We also have Intimidate. Now, Intimidate, when you field someone with Intimidate, you're going to remove a target die from the field zone until the end of the turn. So basically, it's actually plays a little bit similarly to Capture, but I think it's a little cleaner. And basically, you're just saying, hey, this person's not involved in this battle. That's a really handy thing. And a lot of the characters have Intimidate. One I enjoy here is She-Hulk's Intimidate. Basically, everybody else, opposing non-She-Hulk characters lose and cannot gain Intimidate. So her Intimidate is better than anyone else's Intimidate. Punisher is intimidating, but not when She-Hulk shows up. Then we have Resistance. This is a new special ability. Here, Resistance basically works if one of your character dice was taken out. So we see that Captain America has Resistance, Baron Zemo has Resistance. Here's a continuous Resistance whenever a character die is KO'd. Character dice you control get +2 defense until the end of the turn. So we got the shield, Vibranium shield. Anyway, so there's several characters with Resistance. These are the people who followed Captain America in the Civil War. Mary Jane here, of course, with Peter Parker. Here's one of, it looks like every Gravity Feed comes with 2 ultra rares. This is one of the ones I got here with Captain America. When he's fielded, a sidekick gets +2 attack and +2 defense. And then when he's fielded, if none of your dice were KO'd this turn, target sidekick gets +2 attack. So if someone was killed, a dice gets +2/+2, and if somebody was not killed, they just get +2. It's okay. Then we have Captain Marvel here, who can only be blocked by energy characters or character dice with resistance. And then, of course, Winter Soldier also has resistance. The opposite of resistance, kind of, sort of, is enlistment. These are the people who follow Iron Man. So here actually is Iron Man here, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. This happens, enlistment works when one of your own dice is KO'd, or you KO one of your dice. Mary Jane shows up here too, but this is an anti-enlistment person. So Falcon here has enlistment, and Captain Marvel has enlistment. Thor, the new female Thor, shows up, and when she's fielded, characters with resistance and or enlistment can't block until the end of the turn. Again, I'm always a little concerned when things like, especially something like this, because it's very specific. This Thor is only going to work if you're playing in this set alone, but there you have it. Hey, do you hate sidekicks? Well, so does this set. There's a lot of things. Marie Hill can block any number of sidekicks. Loki can pay 2 of the stealth tokens to capture any number of sidekicks. Justice, who's another one of my favorite characters from this set, or from Marvel Comics in general, if he's blocked by multiple character dice, he does his full attack to all the ones that are blocking him. So again, that's anti-sidekicks. Iron Fist, when your opponent declares attackers, he can just kill a sidekick. Hercules can't be blocked by sidekicks. Bullseye, when he attacks, he does 1 damage to each opposing strength character die, which isn't sidekicks, but certainly scares them. Black Widow can target an opposing die with a fielding cost of 0. See you later, sidekicks. Here she can block any number of character dice with a field cost of 0. Again, sidekicks. So now I'm just going to show you several of the other cards that are in this game. These are different characters that show up. Most of them have something to do with the Civil War to some end. Rescue is an interesting character because her dice, she's an actual character. I believe she's Pepper Potts wearing a suit of armor from Iron Man. But her dice, when you rest and re-roll, you gain 1 life for each rescue that you rolled that shows an energy face. So when energy faces are rolled on her, they actually launch her special ability, while as a character herself, she doesn't really have a special ability. Nitro, another one of the causes to the Civil War itself. When she's fielded, she just does 1 damage to your target opponent. That's good. Moon Knight, who seems to be anti-Iron Man and pro-Captain America. He's one of those ones that when you play him, he works with Captain America dice. Never a big fan of these per se, especially since it's not like Moon Knight and Captain America are always working together. But whatever, that's in this set. This is an interesting one. When Jessica Jones is blocked, you can remove Jessica Jones from the attack zone. All right, that's interesting. So if she's blocked, then she was never really there. Justice, if you have sidekicks, he's +2. We got Iron Fist. We got Goliath. We have Ms. Marvel. This is a very interesting one. When she attacks, spin all opposing character dice down 1 level. That's a pretty powerful card. Pretty neat. That's a rare one. Speedball kind of has this bomb inside him, basically. When he does combat damage, we do damage when he's dealt combat damage, deal damage to other character dice equal to the amount of damage to Speedball. So if a big enemy blocks Speedball, boom, they kill everything. So you're, as an opponent, you will often think, should I let Speedball through? I mean, he's going to take out his own people too. So these are some of the character cards. I'm now going to show you my top 10 favorite character cards. This one here is one of my ultra rares that I got, but I really like it. When she's active, your sidekick dice are +2 attack, +2 defense. Now, that's a 6 cost. It's pretty expensive. But if you can get her in Captain America, you can make your sidekicks monsters. Taskmaster here, when he blocks or is blocked, his attack and defense match that of any target character in the field zone. That's pretty awesome, especially if there's a big guy out there. Taskmaster, and it's very thematic because he could copy anyone's fighting ability. When Loki is active, each Loki die can block up to 2 character dice. I enjoy that one. I like things that can block multiple people. Captain Marvel, this is a very expensive die. However, when she's active, you can do 2 attack steps in a row. Neat! Luke Cage is one that I enjoy too. This is just a very simple ability, but the first time that you would take damage, you prevent that damage unless your opponent pays 2 life. So you're going to take some damage, you say, hey, fine, you take damage also, or it doesn't happen to me at all, which is a really cool thing. Pim Particles. A target character gets +1 attack and fast until the end of the turn. Remember I mentioned how fast wasn't on any majorly big characters? Well, it can be if you give them Pim Particles. Namorita. When you KO a non-character die with combat damage, you put that KO die in the used pile. Yes! So if she takes somebody out, they don't come back again. Now, of course, her attack is only 2, so she's not going to take out a lot of people, but you use some Pim Particles or something. Like, for example, my number 3 favorite card, more Pim Particles. These give a die +1 and Overcrush. Yes! Giving something Overcrush makes me happy, especially with a +1 attack. Hey, I remember I mentioned She-Hulk being the ultimate intimidator. That's probably Punisher, my number 2 favorite card. When the Punisher's fielded, all non-sidekick character dice get Intimidate. This could win you the game. Really cool for Punisher. And then my favorite card from this set is another Taskmaster card. When he's active, he gets the keyword abilities of each other character in the field zone. Wow! So that means that the Taskmaster can be fast and have Overcrush and have, oh man, just neat. It's a neat thing, especially if you can build your character dice around those, give them all some kind of cool bolded keyword abilities, some bolded keyword abilities, and then play the Taskmaster in there. I like that. All right, so now let's take a look at the basic action cards. These are things that, of course, have something to do with the Civil War itself. So, for example, the Driven Underground, you can KO a blocking die and maybe do damage to somebody else. And escape incarceration. You'll notice this one here has resistance on it also. If something's KO'd, you can move another die from your used pile to your prep area. That's pretty neat. I like that one. It has the idea of escaping from something. The front line, this is interesting. This is one I think that you'll see some people use. Unblock attacking character dice get +3 until the end of the turn. That's right. You're going to block me this turn, because if you don't, I'm getting +3 for each die you let through. You're letting those sidekicks through? I don't think you're going to want to do that. So that's an interesting one. Suffering and Satisfaction is an odd one where you can do +2 attack to one person of affiliation and -2 to another, which if it's on your team can hurt, but if your opponent happens to bring the same affiliation, this could be a very useful one. Of course, then they can buy the die too and use it against you. I really like Superhero Registration Act, which is draw and roll 2 dice, something we've seen before, but it could possibly be 3 dice if your opponent has KO'd, unless your opponent KOs an opposing character die. That's a neat idea. Hey, take out one of your dice, or I get to draw 3 dice. You will find they will often do that. Long Live the Resistance. I love this one because it gets you 4 life. Just a good thing to have. And if a character die you control is KO'd, it's 5 life too. And Field Promotion, spin all your character dice up 1 level. What? Yes, you heard me. Or you can just make them all go to level 3. Wow. Yeah, these 2 here, you'll often see me stick into basic actions, some of my favorite basic actions. A very solid set here. Dice Masters is always something where I'm like, how much farther can they go? And they're pulling stuff that I like from other sets. Some of the D&D stuff you're seeing show up here a little bit. Like I said, I really like a lot of the cards from this set. This is it. I still think maybe Spider-Man set is the best set for new people to get into. And some of the stuff in this set, a few of the cards are very specific, you know, hey, this is Iron Man versus Captain America style thing. But for the most part, I really do like the different abilities. I think there's a lot of my favorite characters are in this set. I mean, you can now play with the whole Guardians of the Galaxy now that they've added Rocket Raccoon. You have the that speed, which is good. I really enjoy fast as a special ability. I like the different combinations that you can make. And there's a lot of this, ooh, you know, how am I going to work with this? You can still make those sidekick powerful decks. There's cards here, but there's enough in here that are against sidekicks too. I think sidekicks are, you know, they're still what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be sidekicks. And so there's a lot of other cool cards. A neat set. I haven't seen every single card from the set, but I've seen, you know, as you can see here, most of the characters and stuff. I'm anxious to play this one some more. And I think a lot of cards from this set will see rotation due to being characters I like, but also special abilities that are cool also. That's Civil War Dice Masters. Dice Tower Judgment. Excellent!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door. game.